Everyone, I'm Lynn from Finds of Yesterday, and we are talking Schiaparelli costume jewelry today. So Elsa Schiaparelli is one of the most sought-after vintage costume jewelry brands of the 20th century. In this video, we're going to discuss the creator of Schiaparelli, some collaborations that she did, things to look for in the jewelry, markings that they used, and we're going to hop over to eBay and look at current selling prices. So as with all costume jewelry designers of this time, which was the early to the middle of the 1900s, it was created to mimic fine jewelry, where jade was used for emeralds and marcasites and rhinestones were used for diamonds, etc. Elsa Schiaparelli began designing clothing in the mid-1920s after being mentored by this French designer, Paul Poiret. In 1927, she opened her own business in Paris, and accessories was an essential part of her business. Her rival, Coco Chanel, in fashion and jewelry, were close to each other in Paris. And celebrities and fashion-forward women were known to come to them both for different reasons. Chanel for her elegant classic styles, and Schiaparelli for her quality, fun, quirky, and whimsical designs. When women were known to wear subdued colors, Schiaparelli created colorful clothing and coined the term shocking pink. And as you'll see here is her famous lobster dress. And the center picture, look at her whimsical jewelry. Here is her aspirin necklace. They coined the term aspirin necklace because the little beads look like baby aspirin. During the late 1940s to early 1950s, De Rosa Company made Schiaparelli jewelry. He used this pink torso hang tag, and on the back it said, "Designed in Paris, created in America." Lisner was also a maker of her pieces and was the American distributor of her French-made designs since 1938. There's not a lot around, and they're all signed with small letters, as you see here on the bottom picture. It's really kind of hard to read, but there wasn't too many pictures out and available that I could find. She collaborated with many designers, and pieces that were marketed from 1949 through the 50s are what collectors usually find today. They opened a production company in the US in 1954 and closed the couture house in Paris, so she could devote her time to write her book called Shocking Life. Before Schiaparelli died in 1973, she sold the remainder of her business. Now here's some things to look for in this jewelry. So she used very colorful stones and lava rocks. You'll see lava rocks in all these pictures, and there's a little variation to each one. She did design very whimsical designs, but she was friends with Salvador Dali and some of the surrealist artists of the time, so she did collaborations with some of them as well. So you can see some of the very unique and interesting and fun type of designs. She also did more traditional pieces like your floral, chunky bracelets, the wide linked bracelets you'll see a lot of. The signature stone was faux tourmaline. Some people call it watermelon. It's vitriol medium 2 that Swarovski made. And these are very chunky pieces, large stones. And there's a picture of the back of this bracelet just so you can see the construction of her pieces. Iridized molded leaves was something she used. Gumdrops, which are on the bottom right here, and they're domed shape like a gumdrop. And the roses, pressed leaves, that type of thing is pretty popular in her jewelry. Her earrings had 3 holes on the clasp, and you'll see that here on the top right, and you'll see the signature on the clasp. There was also a patent number on the clip mechanism, but that was just for the clip, not for the actual piece. Sets may not have all the pieces signed. Most will be, though. They were mass produced, but in low quantities, so there's not an extreme amount out there today. Here's a necklace hang ornament that they used at the end of their extension on their necklaces. It looks like a little bell hanging, so this is something that she used quite a bit. We're going to look at the markings that they used now. So in the late 1930s, they used all small letters, like we discussed a little bit ago. And then 1949, they switched to the cursive with no copyright symbol. And then in 1955, they used all capital letters with the copyright. And again, from the late 40s to the early 50s, DeRosa used this hang tag, which you don't see too much anymore. I just wanted to show you some of her collections, and these were two. One's called the Pagan Collection, and it was a lot of insects, leaves, pine cones, and natural elements. As you can see the bugs on the hat, I just love that piece. You'd probably walk up to her and want to pick them bugs off of her hat, but they're supposed to be there. And the pine cones, you'll see in the bottom picture, very whimsical. What an interesting color necklace. And then on the right is a circus collection. And you'll see the trapeze artist. She looks like she used them as buttons. And then the ostrich dangle pins. Just some fun things she did. She was very creative. Most of these pieces are in museums and they're unmarked, so you probably won't see a whole lot of these, but I thought I would throw them in and show them to you. And in 2012, the Schiaparelli Design House was then resurrected, and celebrities like Lady Gaga, Beyonce, and Adele have worn Schiaparelli clothing and jewelry and brought new awareness to the brand. We're going to jump over to eBay and check out the current solds. Okay, here we are on eBay, and I have in Schiaparelli minus lot. We don't want to look at lots, we want to look at individual pieces. And I'm going to zoom in over here. You scroll down, and I've clicked on sold items and completed items. So we're looking at all sold. Okay, I'm going to go back up. Alright, obviously the purses are the biggest seller right here. And when you see the line through the item, that means they took a best offer. So some of these are going to be lower priced than what you see here. But here, I'm going to zoom in on some of these. This is the highest price one in the last 90 days. That's what these solds are for, just the last 90 days. It's a gorgeous red rhinestone filled necklace with earrings. I did look up the price on Terapeak of what this sold for, and it said $900. So that's probably the highest, or pretty close to the highest piece in the last 90 days that sold. And this eye bangle bracelet, which this eye, I think they call it the evil eye, is one of her signature designs, and it sold for $900 as well. And here we have a duck brooch that sold for about $1,040. There was 18 bids on it, and it was coming from Argentina, so it was $40 more for shipping. Over here we have this gorgeous set. This one sold for $600. Looks like a lot of scroll work. It's just an extra amount of design work she put into these makes the value of this type of jewelry so much. And here is a crab brooch, and this sold for $750. Very interesting, whimsical design. Over here is a gorgeous lava rock necklace. This one sold for $957 with 44 bids. There's 44, well, maybe not 44 people, but there was lots of people interested in this piece. A very unique piece, filled with, looks like AB rhinestones, so that means it was produced after 1955. Scroll down, there's another crab brooch that probably sold for about the same. Here is a huge brooch. She was known to make huge pieces. That was another signature of hers. This is Austrian crystals, sold for $675 on one bid. One person wanted it for that price. That's all it takes is one person. Here's another interesting pink and lavender bracelet with some nice frosted looking stones. And look at this piece next to it. I love this piece. Purple amethyst necklace. I love the little, not little, they're pretty big chunky rhinestones hanging. But these are just rhinestones. It's sold for $570. People love their bling. Here is a watermelon set. This one I believe sold for $500 from what I remember when I looked the price up. It's the necklace, the bracelet, and earrings. And you'll notice here on the necklace it doesn't have that little bell hangy thing, like the little hang tag. So she does not use that on all of her pieces. But when you do see it, it's most likely hers. This has the safety chain. Nice set. Again, they call this watermelon, they call it vitriol, faux tourmaline, which is an actual stone. Here's the classic eye. These are earrings. This one sold for $549. And look at this beautiful blue set here. This one they kept marking down. It must have sold probably around 500. Between 400 and 500 probably. So her pieces demand good money. Here's two sets that look very similar. Probably the same person bought them. Sold for probably 400, in the 400 range. Look at this beautiful pink set. And this blue looks like a jellyfish with the mesh. These sold for close to 400, I'm sure. Here's another watermelon or tourmaline. This is an interesting whimsical piece. The brooch. She also designed eyeglasses. Very cool cat eyeglasses. Look at this piece right here. $393 it sold for. And this purple bracelet and earring and brooch set. This one sold for $350. The green one sold for $393. You can see how people just love her jewelry. Oh, look at this bracelet. So unique. Another pretty one. Here's the one I had in the video with the lava rocks. We're getting down in the 300 range. Okay, close your eyes. I'm going to go scroll real fast back up. And I'm going to change over here. This was highest down to lowest. I'm going to change it for lowest first. Now let's look at the lowest priced ones. So here's an earring set, very simplified, looks like jade, but it's probably just, it's either glass or acrylic for $15.99. That's the lowest priced one. Here's a heart pendant sold for $25. And these are for repair, they're damaged. Then it starts going up to $40 for simple brooches. Here's a pair of the watermelon earrings by themselves, sold for $40. You can see how the set usually brings a lot more. Here's some carved glass stone, like molded leaves. More tourmaline, or faux tourmaline, which is $43. Look at this beautiful red brooch and beautiful blue brooch. They sold for in the $44, $45 range. There's the bracelet. That should have probably gone for more. If you put it on an auction, I feel like you don't get as high a prices. You could probably put that bracelet at $150 and come down on it if you needed to, rather than putting it on auction. Here's some of these earrings at $61, $65. This is beautiful purple stones, $79. Here's the face that we've seen on the dress, $79. $81 for this little brooch. And these are another one that you'll see this style quite a bit, $86. Alright, that's the end of that page. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview of what her prices are going, what her items are going for right now. I hope this helped you, and you can do your own research and find out a lot more about her. But I hope that you learned a little bit about her today, and that and keep your eye out for the next video on the next jewelry designer that we look into. So thanks for joining me, and I hope we see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.